Right, so this week we are in Austria. We are in the valley of the Danube River in a beautiful castle here, but that is not the focus of the video. Where it's 30 degrees heat out here, and we're going to go and head off and show you what we're looking at this week. We're going to be talking to Karl and Ludwig Neumayer, who are the owners and producers behind the Neumayer wine. It's one of the best rated wines in Austria, and we're going to learn about the process and learn their story, and we're just developing our knowledge of Austrian wines here. What's your name and what do you do?
My name is Karl Neumayer, and I am the temple servant of my brother Ludwig, who is a winemaker, Ludwig Neumayer.
Perfect. And where are we?
We are here almost not in the middle of nowhere, we are in the center of the world. We are here in Inzetsdorf ob der Traisen, a little village in the Austrian Traisen Valley, a few miles south of the Danube Valley. In, let's say, about 10 miles south of Wachau.
No.
And, or how many?
7 miles.
7 miles.
Okay. Malton is very close.
And
very
about
close,
50 miles west of Vienna, because not everyone is so locally oriented, but Vienna you can imagine.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's about it. And where are we? Important is also not only the lateral, but it's the geology. We are in the transition zone between a primary stone area from the Dunkelsteiner Wald, from the woods, to the Löss formations of the Danube Valley and more east. Mm-hmm. Here is the limestone conglomerate zone, which is about less than 1 mile. We have looked at it, and this is also very important aspect of the question: where are we? Mm-hmm. We are winemakers in the terroir of limestone conglomerate. This is essential for our wines.
Mm-hmm. And it's a very unique area.
Yes.
In terms of the terroir for that reason.
Yes. This is indeed very unique. And many people did not really have a right understanding that this terroir grows specific wines.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Yeah.
Right, so we came to this location because it offered great views of the vineyards in the surrounding area. So every wine is affected by the area in which the grapes grow, which is referred to as terroir. We see an example of this here where the vineyards are on terraced fields in the valley, and the altitude and the wind and the sunlight they get on the slopes affects the taste of the wine. Also, these ones, because they're beside the river, will be influenced. The flavour of the finished wine will be influenced by the river as well, and how the river is in such a close vicinity. And how did you start making wine?
How did we start? I will start to answer this question, and Ludwig will then continue. It was by accident, actually. In the beginning of the 1980s, way back in the last millennium, we decided to stop making wine, because in those days it was not so sexy and not so intelligent to produce wine just simply out of good grapes. There were modern science and chemistry you could make, but then there came this glycol scandal and so on. So we decided to stop wine, but we wanted to have a room where to remind us what we would have loved to do with wine, but we would not do it. So we designed this tasting room. And then there was an Austrian wine fair where the winemakers of all Austria submitted their wines and got rated: gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal. And to make a long story short, on the Sunday morning of the fair, it was published in the Austrian newspapers, the top 10 rated wineries. the famous ones, number 8 then, Weingut Neumayer. So, are they crazy? We submitted 5 samples, got 5 gold medals, so whatever that may mean. Anyway, we were top 10. And this phone began to ring. My mother picked up the phone. The guy said, "Is there Weingut Ludwig Neumayer, Weingut Neumayer?" My mother said, "Yes, we are Neumayer, but we are no winery." And then people came and they saw this, in those days, unusually exotic tasting room, and then was Ludwig making unusually exotic wines. and then he stayed becoming he continued making wine. Yeah.
Right. And which wine is your particular favourite? Which one do you hold a special place for?
Sure, this is absolutely the Wein vom Stein.
And can you just tell us about this as a drinking wine, the flavours maybe, or
der Wein vom Stein ist wie sagt man denn, der konzentrierte Ausdruck für unser Terroir. Das ist
the concentrated flavours of the area.
Yes. I think that's a good point and a good expression. Ludwig said that's in his eyes, der Wein vom Stein translates the wine from the stone. Yeah. Is in his eyes the most concentrated expression of our limestone terroir.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Perfect, that's perfect.
This is unique, we have a very small harvest, so there don't exist grüne Veltliner on very stony parts from the limestone, because you have a very slow harvest, small berries, you have no Ertrag,
no yield.
A very small yield. But
there were no role models and no examples for this type of winemaking. Yeah.
Most of the grüne Veltliner grows on very
rich soil,
löss. It's a very good soil where you can produce a lot of quantity in a good price, and so this is very important. Mm-hmm. But this you can mechanize this very good, and so this is a special. We made this on the hillside, and what is the Vorteil?
The advantage.
The advantage is it is a very very windy, very healthy conditions. Mm-hmm. We have to spray very seldom. This year we are in 10 days or so starts the harvest. So step by step, we sprayed 2 times. Maybe we had start a little bit earlier, maximum 3 times, but this is a fact. Yeah. This is a fact, also because this is windy and very healthy, and this stony. This is very healthy conditions.
Perfect.
This is an important part.
Think about that. Mm-hmm. Our natural. I will start with the way how we understand our ecological responsibility. Ludwig said before he does 2, maximum 3 times spraying with fungicides, nothing else. We leave more or less, we are quasi laissez-faire in the vineyards. We go a minimal intervention strategy, we try to be in the vineyards very regenerative, let many plants grow, and it's important to not to drive through the vineyards often, as just minimum, because the more you go through, the more you interfere the soil and plow, the more you damage the microbiome. Mm-hmm. But this is with what the roots of the grapes interact and communicate. And this comes to your question, how does this influence? There is a rich microbiome. And we do not understand enough of it. We must learn much more about that, but we should definitely learn to respect the microbiomes of our vineyards, to let them become gardens, and let plants grow, blossom, and die again. Let a tree die, because insects come and butterflies come and new plants come. This is where I think the birds, we have seen it. This makes a difference. Yeah. I think this is, and then you get grapes with lesser quantity but more robust grapes. They don't get sick so often. You do not have to spray so often. We are not certified organic. We respect, of course, this approach. Ecological responsibility is the basis of our work. We, in our terroir, we think it is probably the better package when we just go with the tractor and spraying twice or 3 times and do nothing else and have no copper in the soil. We think, just for our terroir, we think it's the better compromise. Because the health of the grapes is the overall, that's health of the soil and health of the grapes. That's the game. That's what it's all about. Huh? Exactly. And the vineyard should become a garden in itself. Perfect. That's so far the grapes. The rest is then the alchemy in the cellar. But yeah.
I think this is a very expensive production.
What we do.
Yes.
It's a luxury expensive.
Yes, it's a luxury production. You know, the lot of here colleagues also, this is normal that you have the former sugar beet soils, deep grounded, very ertragreich, very high yield thing. This is very important, and so and you have to spray often, because this is this deep grounded soils, they need they are more humid and so forth.
Ludwig, maybe what you want to say, or what we think, is our regenerative approach.
It's not for
you cannot scale it up.
No. This is not for the
cannot
supermarket.
Blowing up in the yields. You have to accept what comes, and it's limited in the yields.
And the supermarket is also very important for the wine. Yes. Yeah.
This is why our yields are limited by the way, by the philosophy of his approach. When you work like this, the bad side, so you cannot expand the yields. It is if you work in this method, you get the yields you get, which are and this is why it's more in a quality level. That's the way it is. Yeah. Should I really say it?
Yeah.
She asked, what does our label, our logo mean? And I said, should I really say it?
So, Natalie said.
Yeah. Ludwig is a little alchemist sometimes. And what I like on our logo, it's N is of course for Neumayer. That's a trivial level of explanation. But when you look at it carefully, you see a fine antenna to the ground and a fine antenna up to heaven. And when you want to make good wine, you have to have these 2 antennas.
Wherever the heaven is.
Perfect. That's everything. Thank you. Right, so off to the vineyard we go. We're here in Inzetsdorf, as you probably know by now, but we're here with Neumayer Wines. This is the home of Neumayer Wines, and this is one of their Sauvignon Blanc plantations here. All the vines here are Sauvignon Blanc grapes, and it's quite a not so manicured is the way I'll put it. It's quite a natural vineyard, because they spray for fungicides only twice a year. They're not a certified organic vineyard because they do spray for fungicides twice a year. However, certified organic vineyards do spray as well with certified chemicals, but they take a minimalistic approach and they kind of let nature do its work. So if you the Neumayer wines produce 4 different types of grapes. They have a Gruner Veltliner, Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Blanc, and a Riesling grape as well. So if you take a walk with me here for just 1 second, we're going to go and we're going to see the Sauvignon Blanc grapes on the vine. And the Sauvignon Blanc is a very popular wine at home, and this is one here now. It's a great wine, very sweet, quite fruity most of the times. Now you'll see here some of these darker coloured grapes. These are the ones that have been kind of not affected, but taken out by the fungus. But it kind of shows a more natural bunch of grapes. Not every bunch of grapes is going to be pristine and pedicured. That's an artificial grape. Like this is kind of what you want. It's a more natural and healthy grape. We can't thank the brothers enough for opening their doors here to us and being exceptionally hospitable towards us and showing us the behind the scenes and allowing us to continue our learning. And we can't thank them enough to Karl and Ludwig Neumayer and Mabel Neumayer. We are nothing but grateful for what you've shown us and what you've allowed us to learn. And hopefully we'll see an amazing wine like Neumayer on the Irish market as soon as possible. Right, so this week we're in Austria, and as you can see by the beautiful views in the valley of the Danube River, we're in a valley at...
Let's do what we want.
Okay, ready to go?
Fiona, where is the teleprompter?
I am the teleprompter. I will sit.